Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of GBA Time, a chronological series for the Game Boy Advance. Our first game up today is Caesar's Palace Advance. This is a game published by Majesco. This is a collection of casino games. There's a bunch of versions available of this game from the NES, the Game Boy, the Sega Genesis, the PlayStation, the Dreamcast, list goes on. So they've ported this many times over. So this has an $11 complete in-box value. This has we'll get into it here, but there's a collection of about 6 or 7 casino games in here. Then we got the title screen here. And then you can put your name in. This is a password save. And then we'll jump into my favorite casino game, Blackjack. I love playing Blackjack. There's just strategy and higher probability of being in control of winning money. So like here I split it. I got 21 in one, I got 17 in the other, and the dealer had 19. So I'm kind of breaking even here, or a little bit more than breaking even. So there's one hand of that, and then we'll jump into the next game here. We got some table games. Craps. I'm not too familiar with craps. It looks very complicated, but I would love to learn someday because it looks very interesting with its permutations and complications. So I'm just throwing some chips on the board here just so I can demonstrate how the game works here. Yeah, this is very, very bare bones. I would love to see a story mode or something like that, but this is so very bare bones. It just has the games in it. So we threw a 6, and looks like I didn't win anything. So that is craps. So we got an 8 that time. And then we will exit the board here in a moment. And then we'll jump into roulette, my brother's favorite casino game. He's got a full-on strategy with roulette that he says is foolproof. That as long as you're patient enough with the game and keep to a strategy, keep to a consistent strategy, that you're going to win eventually. So I put my primary number on 34. That is the number of Giannis Antetokounmpo, star player for my favorite NBA team, the Milwaukee Bucks. So that is my lucky number, given the success that he's brought to that NBA team. And then as I was playing this in another playthrough, because I do a couple of playthroughs before I record just to get my thoughts around this, I did land on 34. Alright, then we got your basic slots. Slots are probably my least favorite casino game, just because it is mindless. There's no strategy, there's no anything to it. It's just pure luck. And it feels like the casino can put it however they want to. And then we've got video poker. And as you'll see here, I make a pretty major mistake, but I'm glad I'm not playing this for real money. Because the deuce is wild. So I dealt myself a full house, and I forgot to save the deuce, as you'll see here. So it flips, and I get 2 pairs, which is nothing. So I would be mad if this was real life, but just a silly game. So we'll back out here, and we'll jump into Keno, which is our last game here, which I have no idea what Keno is. It's just like you pick spots on the board, and I have no idea what those numbers mean. The TBL, TBLR, ENI. I have no idea what those mean. So maybe someday I will learn Keno, but I really don't have much interest in learning this game. But I would like to learn craps at some point. That definitely looks fun. Like a nice strategy there. Like you're in control. And that is all, 6 games on this. So pros and cons, variety of casino games. There's no overall objective, which I would love to see it, because I know I played one on Super Nintendo that had kind of an objective. No save. Looked like there was a password save, so I had missed that, overlooked that. I gave this a D, and I ranked this 35 out of the 37 games that I played thus far. And transitioning to our second game today. This is Atlantis, The Lost Empire. This is a licensed game platformer based on the movie in 2001, animated Disney movie. There's going to be about 30 of these Disney games on the Game Boy Advance. So they put a lot of these movie tie-ins and other properties like it on the Game Boy Advance. This actually was a pretty good strategy for them, because these games were okay for the most part from my experience with them. They weren't great, most of them, but they were all, as we'll come along here, I'm expecting they're all pretty acceptable as we'll get into the gameplay here. So we got a nice story based on the movie. Because I know you can laugh at me, but I've played The Little Mermaid on this system. If anybody remembers the movie Meet the Robinsons, that's one of my favorite Disney animated movies. That played pretty well. Cars as well will appear on this system. And I'm sure there's plenty more. So we're getting into the gameplay here. And it's your platformer where you're going to collect these gems. You got the dynamite to blow some stuff up. And then you got your partner on board the ship here. These controls were a little bit loose for the jumps, so I kind of found myself falling off of platforms. But alternatively, I could step here and kind of jump up to the next row, and he would pull himself up, so which is kind of cool. So the objective here is to turn the cranks so you don't overload the system. And unfortunately, this first time I did, as we'll see here in a few minutes. There's a lot of falling, but this played fairly well. So I was not dissatisfied with it. How about that? And we went splat. And he's got to climb up again. This is Milo, the main character from Atlantis, The Lost Empire. So this is based on, or this time period is like right around World War One. They said as I was reading some information about this was like 1919. So it puts you in that setting, and we're deep into the ocean here. We're in a submarine. So obviously you're trying to find Atlantis, which was the sunken island kingdom. So there's many myths and stories around that society. So I overloaded, and I gotta start the level over. So, and then we'll jump back here to where we were, and then we'll show some success here. And then we climb into the vents, and we'll take some damage here. And I never did figure out what these gems were for, but I imagine there's some sort of currency that maybe you can buy some items or something like that, buy some upgrades. Alright, so we successfully completed what we needed to do, and your partner here, probably a captain. Looks like the love interest in the story. So you got level 1 complete, and you get the password at the end of the level. So there are worse ways to deliver a password, and it's only 8 or 9 digits, so not bad, not bad. So we can jump in here for a minute or so. We gotta get all the crew members out here. So we got more climbing, so this kind of plays pretty well. Climbing physics aren't too bad. We gotta unscrew the doors and let the crew members out. There's always a chance of getting struck by these vents and these electrical cords, which cause damage. So this did have a timer on this level, which was kind of created some urgency. But it wasn't too bad. So I got 13 of the 15 done, and I got 2 minutes left. And unfortunately, as you'll see here, I kind of slipped and I fell into the pit. So that caused my death and had me to start over. So one thing I didn't mention, that this has really good music. So that was nice to see. Unique storyline based on the movie. The jumping was pretty clunky, and there was generic platforming gameplay. One note here on my PowerPoint, as you'll see here, I got these lines here. I'm working on getting that kind of cleaned up here. Well, lines, the red lines by the grade and the rank that I'm working on. I gave this a C+, and 26 out of the 38 that I've played thus far. And our next game today is Spider-Man Mysterio's Menace. This is based on the Marvel Comics franchise. This is right before the successful Spider-Man movie in 2002 with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. So we're going to see those games come up on the Game Boy Advance on our show here in a while. This franchise is still going well. We got the new movie and the new game for PS5 in 2023. So it's still doing well. Spider-Man started in 1962. This has a nice $80 complete in-box value. As we'll get into the gameplay here, we do have password. We do have an easy, normal, and superhero mode. So I like to play on easy mode, especially for this channel, just so I can show more of the game, so I'm not struggling through it, because usually I get like this 15 to 30 minutes, and we got these comic book kind of scenes around it. So we'll get into the game here, and then we can do some web slinging. So we saw 3 examples there of Spider-Man's moves, and then we're going to see a 4th one here right away. So we can swing across the buildings here, then we can attack and wrap these guys up, and you can attack and punch, or you can attack with webs. So, and then you can climb up and down and around, even upside down on these buildings. So this gives a lot of variety in attacking and movement. And I put it on easy mode, so I get a lot of power-ups, but I imagine those kind of decrease and increase as you increase the difficulty. So I'm showing off here you can hit a button to bring up a shield that you can make, which is pretty cool. Which I didn't really end up using in this easy mode, but I imagine in the harder levels or the harder mode, this would be very useful. So I'm gonna beat up these guys. We get to our first boss here. You see the power meter in the upper right for his life bar. So that is nice to see, so you can see your progression. And then you get that first aid kit, which refills your life. So we get some more comics here. With the success of the Marvel movies over these past 15 years, it's weird to think how we had these comic books and these properties around these comic books before those movies. And we just saw the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which we enjoyed this past weekend. And I know it's doing very well. I haven't seen the numbers yet, but very well received. People enjoyed it, so that is good. And we got more the next two Avengers movies, Avengers 5 and 6, announced for the next couple of years as well this weekend at the big San Diego Comic-Con. So we're going to attack these ninjas here. We're going to jump over these lava pits. These lava pits actually kind of reminded me of Donkey Kong Country 3, for those that have played that. It has a couple levels like this. We're kind of going over that, and then we will get to all three of the Donkey Kong Country games have ports here on the Game Boy Advance, so we'll be getting to that series as well in the future. Not sure when that's coming up, but we'll get to that eventually. Alright, our pros and cons list. Various ways to attack, based on Spider-Man comics before the 2002 film. Climbing on walls is pretty unique. The cons, the web slinging indoors can be frustrating. I didn't show it here, but sometimes there was a level where you gotta go back and forth, in and out, to make sure we're retracing the steps to finish the level. I gave this a B+, and I ranked this 9 out of 39. Then we got our transition to the last game today. We've got Rugrats Castle Capers. This is based on a Nickelodeon property that started in 1991, the cartoon, and ended in 2008. There was a spin-off that went from like 04 to 08 that continued the series. It has a password save, and this has a small $24 complete in-box value. So, this is a cartoon that I never watched as a kid, and it never had any appeal to me. So, I watched a couple of other cartoons around this time, like Doug, for example. Did not watch Ren and Stimpy either, which was around this time as well. Did not watch that one. So we get into the title card here. Very nice title card, actually. One of the few highlights. So we get this little Rugrats story. These characters kind of annoy me. Maybe this is beloved to some folks, but unfortunately not to me. And unfortunately, I don't know most of these characters' names. So, but we do get to pick from a variety of characters. So, it's good. And then you get to pick your own level. So there's what looks like 5 or 6 levels here. 5 levels, if my math is right. And then it looks like we got a castle one at the end. So you can bounce around here as the baby. And you have plenty of hits. If you see the diaper in the top left, that is your kind of hit meter. So you're allowed up to 25 hits, and then you can find items to get some more. And let me tell you, this game is more challenging than it should have been. And you gotta collect these pacifiers in this level. Then these bananas, They apparently distract your opponents, but that's all I could figure out. But the jumping here was horrific. It's like I'm constantly bouncing. Difficult jumps. For a children's property, this is not what you want to see. And more often than not, this is what we do see in these children's properties. Just these rough jumps and all that. So I could not play that game any longer. Pros and cons, variety of Rugrats to choose from. Jumping physics are rough. Not sure of use of items, and then this password save. So, and I gave this a D-, as will pop up here. And I ranked this 38 out of the 40 games that I played thus far. So we have 2 of the worst 4 games in this episode, unfortunately, as we'll see here very soon here. But we did also have a top 10 game, and then Atlantis was kind of lower half, but still okay. I did not hate it. Find your favorite and let me know if you have any objections to my list. See if I can take another look at a couple of these games and compare them, and see if I can adjust the list if there's any complaints. Alright, so next week we have Dexter's Laboratory. That's another cartoon based property. We got X-Men. We got another comic book character. We got another baseball game. So the Sports Illustrated for baseball, let's make up for it. And then we've got a beat 'em up, a well-beloved property in Final Fight 1. So we got nice variety to look forward to next week. And we've got to make up for the Sports Illustrated baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. With the Montreal Expos on the cover, which is a franchise that disappeared soon after this game. So, Vlad Guerrero Sr. So, thank you all for watching, and you have a great day. And please like and subscribe. Please click on my previous videos if you haven't watched those. And I appreciate you watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.